Hi, I'm Leslie Woolley, and I am representing the board as a community member. And there was a candidate who is running for the Board of Trustees that could not be here today. And her name is Meg Tuborg, and she is a parent candidate. So please consider her when you are looking at your ballot along with the other parent candidates. Thank you.
Welcome to the candidate forum for the 2014-2015 upcoming election for the parents' seat for the Palisades Charter High School board. My name is Chris Lee, and I will be hosting this. I will be asking the candidate questions. They'll have about 2 minutes to answer the questions. Thank you all for watching, and thank you studio audience for being here. So, if we will, I'll work my way this way. If you could just introduce yourselves briefly, and just introduce yourself briefly and your connection to Palisades Charter High School.
Okay. Well, my name is Craig Awe. I have 3 students that go to school here: a sophomore and 2 freshmen. I am active with their sports, and they also are active in some social groups, including youth and government, doing some music events and that kind of thing. So I thought being a member of the board would allow me to be a little more hands-on with the direction that the school's going. Even though it is a great school as it is right now, I think that I would like to get involved and hopefully keep it going along.
Thank you.
And my name is Allison Holdorf-Paulhill. I am currently on the board. This is my 3rd year. I'm going into I'm on my 4th year. I have 3 students. One's a Pali graduate. He graduated in 2012. I have a senior and a sophomore here. My children's activities range from marching band, volleyball, all different types of activities. I'm on 7 committees. I'm the board vice chair and involved in the charter renewal.
Hi everyone, my name is Caroline Kelly, and this is actually my 7th year at the school already. I have 2 students who have already graduated from Pali. One's a junior in college now and one's a freshman, and I have a current 10th grader. My involvement in public education actually goes back over 16 years. I've done everything from chaired governance councils to head up major fundraising campaigns. In my time at Pali, I have been involved with various committees, including PAC, which at one time was very involved in parent education. I've also been involved with fundraising here, and I am very interested in charter renewal. I was one of the co-founders of New West Charter School, and so have a lot of experience in that. So this is an exciting time here at Pali, and I want very much to be a part of the board for my last 2 years here at the school.
Go ahead, Tom.
My name is Tom Ware. I'm an attorney, and I specialize in representing nonprofit homeowners associations. And I have 2 traveling students here at Pali, a senior son and a freshman daughter. My wife Marnie and I have been actively involved in the various fundraising groups here. I incorporated the Pali Quarterback Club and served on its board. I'm currently the president of the Lacrosse Booster Club, PPLA. And through these endeavors, I've been able to connect with various diverse parent groups in this community, and I think that I can use that experience to help benefit the school in a broader fashion by sitting on this board if elected.
Go ahead, Greg.
Hi, my name is Greg Nepomuceno, also known Gregorio Nepomuceno, Mr. Greg, Mr. Ann, and the reason why is because even though this is my first year as a parent here at Pali High, I've been around in the community as a Spanish teacher, as an educator at Marquez Elementary School, at JECC, which is Jewish Early Childhood Center in Palisades, as a Spanish teacher, and at Montessori. So I've really been around the community, and just being here for my first time, there's a lot of things that I would really like to get involved. Mainly after being in PK, I've really learned a lot that the school really needs a lot of parent involvement. And that's one of the reasons why I'm here. I want to motivate not just the Latino community, but also everyone in general. So please, I hope you guys can vote for me.
Thank you. What I'll do now is there's about 3 questions that we'll ask. I'll have the opportunity. Once again, I'll give you 2-minute, 1-minute verbal, visuals, and then to wrap it up. Just so it'll be timing, just for the sake of equality, and so we don't ramble on. So my first question, and Craig, I'll start with you. Just work our way down here, and you all have an opportunity to ask that. Is the board largely is an oversight committee. We look at academic and financial oversight of the school. How do you feel your efforts and your experiences can help benefit in academic and or educational oversight?
Well, I haven't been a member of this school board on the board of trustees here. I've been active with my children in various areas throughout their school career. And I've also been very active in community events. In my neighborhood, we had problems with traffic. We worked through the city to work those out, and also worked with various sound abatement problems. And I'm very used to and able to work through the maze, if you will, of these kind of situations where you have a lot of concerns and a lot of people to satisfy, and yet you have to make sure that enough people are satisfied and that you still alleviate the problem that you were set out to do. And I have a lot of experience with doing that, so that's one of the reasons why I look forward to being a part of the board.
Thank you. Allison, do you need me to repeat the question?
No, thank
Okay.
you so much, Chris. I'm very happy that you asked this question. Before I even became a member of the board back in 2010, our board did not have governing process policies. And I worked on a committee with 5 others, some were board members at the time, others were not, to develop governing policies for our board. Those were adopted in February 2011. They clearly delineate that the board has oversight. The board's responsibilities are to check on the lofty goals that have to do with academics, budget, making sure that we're fiscally solvent, and finally, our most important one is to hire, fire, and evaluate our executive director. And so we adopted those. I'm very proud to take part in that. We figured out what our lane is and what our lane is not. We had a revolving door of leadership for 7 years before I was on this board. I think part of that was specifically due to the fact that administrators would come and be micromanaged by a board who didn't understand what lane they're in. We understand that. I've been to, for the last 3 years, 3-day seminars. This is my commitment to this school and to this community. I've been asked to present on good governance, and I believe our board now, we have annual trainings, we have annual retreats where we have school-wide goals. We have an evaluative tool that I was also involved in developing, where we have put the school-wide goals on that, and we hold Dr. McGee accountable. This is how we stay in our lane. When we get out of our lane and when we have board members who don't have the proper training or understanding of what we're supposed to do, it creates an environment where the leader cannot lead and be held accountable. The other experience and efforts that I've been involved in, aside from presenting up in San Francisco, Sacramento, or San Diego on governance and what lane to stay in, is I have extensive involvement in our board committees. I'm involved, I'm the chair of the survey committee, the evaluation committee. I'm also on health and safety, communication. I'm on the long-term strategic planning committee regarding facilities. And one thing I can tell you, whoever's out there watching this, voting, I'm not sure that you could find someone who puts the time in, as much time as I do. And it's because I'm committed to stable leadership at the school and for the charter renewal. Thank you.
Thank you. Caroline, do you need me to repeat the question?
Sure. So
As you know, the board is responsible for academic and financial oversight. What experience and efforts do you feel like you can help contribute to that, or how would you like to contribute that?
Okay, so that actually will not be an issue for me at all, and for several reasons. One, I've had already direct experience on governance boards. I have chaired governance boards in public education. So I know what it is to serve on oversight committees. I've been on hiring committees. I've been on, here at this school, I was part of the committee that looked at educational programs. I chaired that committee, by the way, which was made up of students, teachers, and parents. I have also, as an attorney, I understand nuance, I understand contracts, I understand distinction between language. These are all part of what I do. I think one of the benefits that I bring is that I have actually been on different kinds of committees, so I know the difference between ones that are meant to be oversight and ones that are meant to be very active. I have been part of at least 2 different organizations that have started from the ground up, where the board had to do everything. And I'm currently a campaign manager right now for someone, and so I know the difference between oversight, and I know the difference between active, and I know how to do both. So that's what I can bring to the board.
Thank you. Tom?
Basically, what I do in my professional life is I represent nonprofit corporations, and a big part of that is advising them on how to operate and govern. I'm very familiar with the Brown Act, which governs the open board meetings dealing with public entities. I have defended a number of nonprofits who get in trouble with the skew of that, and I think that helps me avoid some of these problems that when I usually would advise people on this. The other part of my background I think is helpful is that when I set up the Pally Quarterback Club, I didn't know what the rules and requirements were for booster clubs in interacting with schools, and I spent a lot of time researching it and finding that out, and I'm very familiar with the rules governing fundraising in connection with public entities and charities. I think that's helpful as well, because I think a big part of, I'm not sure this falls within it, but it seems to me a big part of what this entity should do as well is look at ways to fundraise to actually facilitate the educational purposes of the entity.
Thank you. Greg, do you need to repeat it, or you got it?
Oh, fine.
Go ahead.
One of the things that I can bring to the board is basically my experience. I've been an educator for at least more than 8 years. I've been a teacher in Santa Monica District, and just being there, I'm held accountable of all my students that I'm with every day. I am responsible to making sure the students are educated each day, and so that is a big commitment. And I think that after being here, sitting at the board meetings for at least more than 3 times after I graduated from PK, I think that definitely has taught me a lot. This is my first year, of course, but I really am willing to open up and learn from all of you guys, and definitely set my commitment and my experience as an educator to try to cover not just a certain group of parents, but overall the entire parents here at Palisades High.
Thank you. My next question is regarding board goals. Every year the board sits down and focuses on 3 goals, 3 or 4 or so, to focus on. For instance, this year we've focused on culture and climate, communication, and fundraising. You mentioned fundraising. In the past, we've also looked at kind of boosting Pally's image, and Allison hinted at that. We've presented at conferences to try to actively boost Pally's image as a charter school. So I will start with Tom and work my way that way. What specific goals do you see that that you would like to see the board look at in its oversight capacity?
Well, I don't know that I have a specific goals at the moment. Basically, I decided to run because Polly Bamberger asked me to. She said, "Hey, I think because of what you've done with the football and the lacrosse and your wife's involvement with the Booster Club, that you might be helpful with your background in helping aid the school in whatever way it goes. But the thing that I would focus on myself is I would think fundraising, figure out ways to get corporate matching for this. And I think part of that has to do with making sure that all our ducks are in order with respect to how we raise money, globally. I think it would be very helpful in that regard.
Excellent. Greg?
I feel that one of the things that we can definitely project here at Pali is mainly our students that are actually going to the universities, project more of that. How many students are actually graduating and are attending four-year universities. Also, another thing that we definitely project is tutorials. How many of those students are coming back and tutoring here at the school? How many of that one-on-one tutorials have our students, our ninth graders, who are coming up? And I see that a lot. I'm beginning to see that there's a lot of students that are going back to the ninth graders and tutoring them. So that's definitely, we can definitely promote. And also the spirit. I see a lot of spirit going on. And yes, keep bringing those Friday marching groups, reunions, and pep rallies. Definitely get the spirit out.
Great, thank you. Craig?
Well, as far as some of the goals of the school, some of the things that I've seen, it's nice to have a goal every year and something to focus on. But also, one of the things that I see that has not been done is an outreach to the parents of past students. You have a lot of people that live in the Palisades neighborhood that if they knew a little bit more about what was going on at Palisades, they'd come to the football games, the basketball game. Now we've got a good amount of interaction, but we could do a lot better with that. Because we are the only, and I've taken a look at this, we're really the only school here in Los Angeles that has as much of competing private schools with us, and yet we are topping those private schools. That's something that's not usually done here in LA. People go to a private school because they get what they don't get at a public school. That's not the case here in the Palisades. You can send your kid to this school here and know that they're getting just as good of an education as they would if you were writing a $28,000 check. And I think that's part of the pride of Palisades High School. And I think that's what we need to outreach, get an outreach to the neighborhood to let them know a little bit more about what they're getting from us as a community high school, and also how we need to start counting on them a little bit more and getting them active and seeing exactly what we're doing. And that's one of the things I think that we can do.
Thank you. Allison, do you need me to repeat it, or you got it?
Oh, no, thank you. So for board goals, I would go with 4. 1 is the climate. 2, fundraising. 3, charter renewal. This is a charter renewal year. And finally, 4, communication. And regarding climate, it's imperative that we're in a climate at Pali High where everyone, all stakeholders, there's a level of happiness. And we've had some incredible changes at this school that we've asked the staff to undertake. Infinite Campus, Schoology, and now we have a pilot program for the computer. This is amazing that our staff undertook this, that the administration is attempting to implement it. Were there issues? Yes. Checking in on the climate through the stakeholder-wide survey that we're doing for our 2nd year, and I'm proud to be a part of through the Columbia Research. And by the way, if you're watching this video, I hope that you filled out that survey, which went out today. Getting a pulse of our community is critical, and creating a happy environment where people feel appreciated is also critical. 2, fundraising. We've made great strides on that. We have boosters, PCSA, and now we have Ed Fund. May 28th, we're having a big Ed Fund meeting where we're going to talk about where our Pali graduates have gone and ask that more people come and participate. We also have a grant writer, and we are reaching out to our alum to have their alumni events go through Ed Fund. So I think this is an area that is in need of improvement, and we need to make great strides. Finally, charter renewal speaks for itself. I just went last week to downtown to get the orientation on that, and there's great 5-year plans that we're being asked to do. Communication, I really appreciate that PK has this new program that goes on for 5 weeks and is involving so many more parents. So I think we need more effort and more outreach. Thank you for the 3 of you for coming to this meeting.
There were 4 here.
4.
Caroline?
Well, you know, one of my issues has always been that I actually don't think that we have fully taken advantage of our independent charter status. So for me, that's sort of an umbrella thing, that I think that there is a lot of potential for growth, a lot of potential for innovation that comes with that. So focusing within that, you know, this coming year, we're going to be switching to a new funding model that's not just our schools statewide. So I do think that the need to look at all of our different revenue streams, what kind of fundraisers we can have, where and how we can bring in money, obviously is a very big issue. I think also that, you know, our main job is to teach kids. And so curriculum and strengthening curriculum for all of our children, not just for any one particular group, but for all groups, is very important. I spent the last year actually very involved with foster care and looking at kids who were in probation camps, who were years behind. But when I first started out, I was very involved with gifted education. And I think that we need to focus on every child and making sure that every child excels. And finally, I think that we need better communication, particularly with the parents, but also with the teachers, and more opportunity. So this is actually a 4th. More opportunity for teacher support, what with Common Core, new technology, all the new demands, to be sure that teachers feel that they are fully supported in the classroom.
Thank you. This is kind of a parent-specific question. As you know, Pali represents over 100 different zip codes. How, as parent representatives, how do you feel that you can best represent the many parent perspectives of our diverse student population? And I will start with, we'll work our way that way. How about that?
That's good.
Okay, so go ahead.
Okay. I feel that one of the ways that I can represent not just one group of parents, but all of the parents, is mainly looking at 3 things. One of them is transportation. Transportation is definitely a key factor. A lot of our parents are coming from maybe all the way downtown LA to get here, and their transportation cost has skyrocketed. And I think that if we can lower those prices, might help a lot. Also, parents around here. I mean, I come and drop off my daughters, and I see a lot of parents just simply double parking and unloading their kids. That's unsafe. That's definitely unsafe. So maybe spreading out the word and being maybe talk about traffic safety. Another thing, and I think we can cover all, is our kids' education, their grades. How can we have parent communication with teachers? Open up more doors to speak to the teachers. And I know the teachers are exhausted. They have a lot of kids, a lot of parents all day long. How can we make a better way to communicate with them without taking more of their time? So definitely those three goals will be very important if I'm elected. Thank you.
Thank you. Go ahead.
Can you repeat the question?
Yes. No. Pali represents a multitude of zip codes, and we're a very diverse student population. How will you seek out to make sure that all those voices and all are represented through all the perspectives are represented on the board? Or
I know this kind of sounds trite, but I would talk to people. I mean, one thing, the benefit of my son has played football for 4 years, and I will tell you that the football program is very diverse. We've got people from Pali, people in the community here, we've got people from South Central, we've got people from West LA. We have a very multi-ethnic team, and one thing I have found in that is that with that common goal, we are a football team, right? We all want to win, so all the parents kind of bind together, which realizes there's not much differences between the two of us, or everybody there. and that if we all have a common goal, we want our kids to succeed on the football field. And part of that just has to do with, that's how we fundraise through the football group. We just talk to parents and find out what's important to you. What do you want? What do you think we should be doing? And I think that's a big part of it, just reaching out to people.
Great, thank you. Caroline?
There are a couple of different things. One thing is I think at some point you do have to go to where people are. So we know all the zip codes, we know where there are concentrations of students. And so there are certain meetings that should happen not just on campus, but in different parts of town. So I know from just personal experience, when my oldest who graduated from Pali was in middle school, he went to middle school in Studio City. And so for me, you know, at 5:30 to drive to Studio City for a parent meeting was very difficult. So I know that my attendance was lower during that time, and I understand that issue. So one is going to where parents are. The second thing is to improve communication. We've certainly made strides with our website, but it can still be improved. It can be much friendlier, it can be much easier to actually get information. So we have to take advantage of technology. And third is we have to find parents in every group who have influence in their area and educate them, let them know what's going on, and really use them to tell others what's going on. And I think that'll actually make a very big difference in our communication.
Thank you. Allison?
So I love that Pali is diverse with 100 zip codes, and that has absolutely been one of the highlights of the school from my children's perspective and where they want to find themselves into college now. They want to be in a diverse environment, and we always hear that Pali graduates can go anywhere because we are representative of the greater Los Angeles area. I think that as a representative of the 100 zip codes, it's important to be part of a lot of committees. And I actually said I was part of 7. I'm really part of 10 committees at Pali. I'm part of the special education committee that's outreach. It doesn't involve my children in particular, but I wanted to be part of that community because I didn't see them being represented at a board level. I've gone to some of the PK events, some of the other events at school that are really important, and it gives you a flavor for what's going on, what are the issues. I agree that you just need to simply talk to people. That is a way where you can understand. Transportation is critical, and 5 years ago when LAUSD yanked it away, I was a big advocate that we grandfather in every single child and they not be charged for transportation, and we did that, and now we are charging, but we're looking at scholarshiping this year at least $100,000. Providing a consistent quality education is the universal language, and that is my #1 priority as your board member. I'm also an attorney and a former educator, and I think that I do have a way of working out the diplomatic wrinkles that come with such a diverse school. And by diverse, it's not just the 100 zip codes, but it's faculty, staff, admin, parents, community members, everyone working together, and I think that I'm uniquely qualified to help in that way.
Thank you. Craig?
Well, you know, we talk about the 100 zip codes that you know we're very proud of, and we should be proud of that. The reason why we're able to do that is because of the lottery system that we have here, and so it includes a lot of people. If you want to get into this school, you have an equal chance if you are living, say, just outside of the district, or if you're living halfway across the city. So what that does, though, is it gives us a diversity that most high schools do not have. Sure, we have a racial diversity, and it's very, very good, extremely mixed, but we also have a very economic diversity, and besides the geographic diversity. And yet the kids that here, there seems to be a very lack of tensions and the normal problems that you see. In fact, I just read something the other day where in this graduating class, only 23 out of over 700 kids ended up dropping out. Now that those dropout rate is very, very small. And when you look at that through the rest of the city, the rest of the state, and even the rest of the nation, that is commendable that you have the diversity that you have in all those different ways, and yet these kids come to school, they stay in school, they excel in school, and they move on. Part of that is that because you have parental expectation, and part of that is because of the faculty participation. that you have here. I know that almost every one of the faculty here is also involved in other activities. So I think that if our main thing here, the reason why we can do what we do here is because of the inclusion of everybody, the parents, the faculty, and the students themselves, no matter where they come from in the city. They all have the common goal is that they want to exceed and go on and be active in the rest of their lives.
One last question before closing. Anything you'd like to add? And this is an easy one, and I'll start with Caroline, and we'll work our way down with where we start last. End it with Tom. As you all have had experience and time here, what do you like best about Pali?
What do I like best about Pali? Is a lot to say. I do like the academic. Oh, should I say Mr. Lee?
Duh.
Dr. Lee.
All right,
That's
that's
right.
right, Dr. Lee. So I definitely like the academics at Pali. I think that's important. But I'll tell you, I have a son who started at Pali and was so socially awkward and had been so unhappy in middle school and felt so accepted and so loved here. He's a junior at Stanford now. It's that's what I love about Pali. The fact that you can find a place here, you can find a way here, no matter what kind of kid you are. And I genuinely believe that there is a place for almost every kid here. That's my favorite part.
Thank you. Allison.
I love that we are a school of 2,800 kids or so or less, about right about that, diverse. We have something for everyone, high achievers, people who are challenged. The amount of extracurricular activities at this school is phenomenal, and the way in which we do it, where there's something for everyone, is incredible. And my 3 children personally could not be more different. Marching band, my daughter, the athlete with volleyball and track, and my son who likes to spearfish and eat chicken noodle soup. And they've all found their friends and their activities. The other thing that I really like about Pali is that we're an independent charter and that we are going forward boldly. When we realized that we had to get our scores up, Myrna Cervantes came up with this incredible PK program, and I wish that everyone could have been at this one board meeting where 198 graduates came and talked about how their children would be first generation going to college, and it brought tears to all of our eyes. And that's what I love about this school. We can identify issues and the community can work together to solve them and involve people.
Great. Craig.
Well, let me see. What's not to like about Pali? One of the things, it just piggybacks on all of this, because I think that the one reason that we all are happy to be at Pali is because of the ability that each one of our kids can come here, find what they're good at, and then just excel. I looked at, when my kids first came here, I said to them, I don't care what you do, but you got to find something to do. And one of my kids brought home a list of the different clubs that you could have. There were over 120 different clubs, anywhere from a Latino club to an African American club to a ukulele club. There's things that anywhere from a large segment of this population can enjoy it and do it, all the way to, if there's 10 kids that want to do it, there's a faculty member here who says, we'll give you a chance. And because that's also, like I said, the faculty participation here. Usually in a school this large, you butt heads with people that you say, why can't we just do it for the kids? And here the faculty says, why can't we just do it for the kids? So
Great.
I'm proud of that.
Thank you. Greg?
Well, one of the things that I see and I like here at Pali is that there's a lot of teachers' commitment to the students. My daughters are in the 9th grade, and I've already seen 2 or 3 teachers that are really motivating them to continue on to school, to find a tutorial, to find a club or some type of participation here at Pali, which at other schools I hardly ever see. I've been at various different schools, Culver City and Santa Monica, And I don't see that as much as I do see it here at Pally. There's a lot of student desire to reach higher, to change their lives, thanks to the teachers. I've seen a lot of sports team involvement. Plenty of students are getting involved in music as well, social groups, and that's the freedom that you guys give to the students. And that's what we want. We want them to feel comfortable, secure, and most importantly, all the teachers love and care by them. Thank you.
Tom.
I think I like the beach best. I think you walk out, you look down, there's beautiful water, and I say that facetiously, but I come from, I'm a traveling parent, so when we were looking to put my son place, the homeschool he had was not safe. I didn't want to send him there. I wanted to find a safe school that he could be comfortable and drive on. He played football and lacrosse. I needed to have that too. So you come out here and it's like beautiful. You have everything. And that I was close to going to sending him to Loyola, and I don't have to pay money for this. I basically get a private school type of feeling. I get diversity of he meets people that he's not isolated, just like everybody looks like him. All of that, I think, makes this a great experience. Is why I end up sending my daughter here to follow him. So, go Dolphins!
Thank you. What we'll do now is we'll have. Let me just make sure you're not in the picture.
No, she's not.
Okay. Just what we'll do right now is I'll give you each once again 2 minutes for any closing remarks that you would like to give. Where do we start? Is there anyone who'd like to? Okay, then we'll work away that way. I'll start with Greg, and we'll work away and end with Craig. So, any last-minute closing remarks that you'd like to give, whenever.
Definitely. Well, first of all, and foremost, I really want to thank all of you guys, Pally High's parents, and all the staff for supporting me and giving me the opportunity to actually take a chance. When I went to PK, and I was actually just learning about my daughter's education, how it overly just changed when I went to the university. It made me really open up my eyes and say, I really need to get involved. And not just get involved with my daughter's homework, because they're tough, but really get involved here, even though it's a chance, but it's also a challenge. One of the things that I've been doing is been trying to get myself into the board meetings and learn from you guys. Learn for all those debates that you guys actually have to sometimes take to come to one agreement. And that is the overall goal, education for the best of our students. I mean, we want their best education here ever. And I think you guys are accomplishing that. And I want to be part of that fulfillment. I want to support not just my daughters, but I want to support the entire students here at Pally. So once again, I really appreciate the chance, the opportunity. And if with all due respect, I would like to close by saying muchas gracias. Voten por mí, un papá que viene de ti. Gracias.
Thank you. All right, Tom.
I think I just mentioned before. I mean, I feel blessed that we found the school for my son and my daughter, and I view this as more like a pay it forward. I don't need to be on the board. I'm sure it's going to take a lot of time and effort, but at the same time, I really do love the experience it's given to my son, and I look forward to the experience that my freshman daughter is going to get, and if I can help, I'm happy to. That's all I have to say.
Thank you. All right, Caroline.
I wasn't born in the United States, and I started kindergarten not speaking any English. I'm a product of the public schools, and all three of my children have gone through. I'm a big public school advocate. I love this school. I can come in with so much experience from governance and with direct public school experience, but I also bring new experience potentially to the board because of all of the different nonprofits, all of the different other work I've done outside. This is my last opportunity because I have a 10th grader I've been asked to run every year, and it's never been right, but I have the time, I have the ability, and I have the desire. So I really hope that you will give me the opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you. Allison.
And I'm running again this year because I think continuity on the board is critical when we have renewal. We have new evaluation piece for all of our faculty. And we also are attempting to implement digital devices at school, where promises have been made for the board. We've asked, as part of the agenda setting committee that I'm on, we've asked to get reports every month, and I'd like to see that through. Final reason for continuity that's very important to me is that we did have a revolving door of leadership. We now have stability. We've had a lot of turnover in the board, and I'd like to stay on for the next 2 years to see that through. As a commitment to the school. My 3 top priorities are providing consistent quality education, reducing the class size, evaluating teacher with our new evaluative system and holding those accountable, and supporting and mentoring teachers in need of assistance, which the academic achievement team is doing a great job of. The second priority is effective communication to all stakeholders, encouraging participation, accountability, participation in student college options and fundraising. And the final priority is charter renewal. When I first became on the board, there was a lot of stakeholders were upset. The charter had just been renewed. That was it when I was first a board member. And we came up with amending the charter so that our governance of not micromanaging the administration would mirror the charter. And we waited to do that until this charter year. So I'd like to see that through. It's very delicate, sometimes explosive situation that I think working together we can accomplish.
Thank you. And Craig.
Well, I believe in continuity as well, and I also believe that every once in a while you need to have a pair of fresh eyes looking at something. We're doing, a great job here educating our kids, a great job, the board's doing a great job, and I just think that I'm able to help it do even better.
Fantastic. Now I'm going to come on.
Your last
Thank you, everyone, and make sure to vote. And if you have any questions, please contact the school. And thank you.